All right, part 3 on number 6. We want to use the answers from the previous step with polynomial division, quadratic formula, if necessary, to find all the zeros of the polynomial. Okay, so what we learned is there, on the first step, we found out that there could be positive zeros. There's two scenarios. Either we have 3 positive zeros or we have 1. Okay. And then we found out how many negative zeros we have. Negative zeros, we found out that there were none. Okay. So there's no negative numbers that we have to try. In the second step, we found upper bound and lower bound. Okay. So the lower bound, and it maybe could have been a half. So the numbers that we need to restrict ourselves are -1 to 4. So we only need to try numbers, nothing smaller than -1. So no negative numbers, basically. We already know that. And so basically 0 to 4 is what we need to do. So if we list all the rational zeros, doing P divided by Q, we have 64 divided by 1. Those are my P over Q. And remember, positive or negative, but in this case, we know that they're always going to be positive, so either 3 or 1 positive numbers. And anyway, we're going to list out all of these numbers. So factors of 64 are 1 and 64, 2 and 32, not divisible by 3, 4 and 16, and then I think it's 8 times 8. So these are all the factors. Basically, what we just found out from these two rules we just applied, we only need to try these numbers 1, 2, and 4, and only the positive of those. We don't have to try the negative. So we're going to try synthetic division. Now, what we're going to find out is either all 3 of these numbers work, or 1 of these numbers work. Okay? That's the possibilities. So we're going to try the number 1 first. And we're going to list our coefficients. 1, -4, 16, and -64. Now I believe I know which one works because when we did 4, we ended up with 0 at the end. So I know 4 will work, but let me just go through 1 and 2 just to verify. Bring down 1. 1 times 1 is 1. Combine these and we subtract, we get -3. 1 times -3 is -3. Combine these, we get a positive 12. 1 times 12 gives us 12. Combine these, we get a -52. So 1 does not work.
Why didn't you write the 2 as a 32?
Why didn't I write what?
Like, whenever you do the synthetic division just now, like you know, just oh, that's the top. I'm sorry. That's never mind. No.
Okay. All right, so 1 doesn't work. Let's try 2, which it shouldn't work either because it says either 1 or all 3. So once I know 1 doesn't work, 2 probably will not work, and we do know 4 works from the work we did earlier, finding the bounds, lower bound, upper bound. So I'm going to do 1, -4, 16, -64. Do it with 2. Bring down the 1. 2 times 1 is 2. Combine these, we get -2. 2 times -2 is -4. Combine these, we get a positive 12. 2 times 12, positive 24. Combine these, we get -40. Okay, so we don't get a remainder of 0. So that indicates that 2 does not work, okay, which means 4 is the only one that's left. So either 4 works, or there's no possible positive zeros, no real positive zeros. So 1, -4, 16, and -64. Bring down the 1. 4 times 1 is 4. Combine these, we get 0. 4 times 0 is 0. Combine these, we get 16. 4 times 16 is -64. Sorry, positive 64. I don't know why I got negative. 4 times 16, positive 64. And combine these, we get 0. So, since we have a remainder of 0, that means 4 is a 0. And my remaining polynomial is x squared plus 0x plus 16 So basically we just have x squared plus 16 is equal to 0. And then we can solve this by square root property. So subtract 16, we get that x squared is equal to negative 16. And if we take the square root of both sides, we get that x squared, or x, is equal to positive or negative square root of 16i. I comes out. So remember, negative under square root is I. So I squared is 16. Sometimes the book might put it at the back. I'm kind of leery of doing this because it's hard to tell, and you might get confused if that I is under the square root or not. So just make sure you don't put the tail over it. So the book, or the Hawks might want you to write like this, but this should be the same thing. I'm sorry, you can't see what I'm writing. So you can put the I at the back. Just make sure it's not that the square root doesn't extend over the I. So we get 4, and then we get these two, positive square root of 16i and negative square root of 16i. So 4, and then I'll do I square root of 16. Or actually, I'm sorry, we can evaluate the square root of 16 is 4. So 4i, positive or negative 4i, because it's going to tell me it's not simplified. So 4, and then I'm going to say 4i, imaginary 4, and then negative 4i. Not sure what I did, but it's very long here.